Buckle up. If Nubia and Egypt were together. First, okay, I want to look at this. And this is why I said that Nubia, the question, it matters, all right? So let's just look at this piece of land right here, okay? If this was Egypt, all right, and that was the Red Sea, okay? Look at the physical makeup of that piece of land, right? Look at Florida. Just this piece right here, okay? They said Noah's Ark was made out of gopher wood. Gopher wood is literally only found in Florida. We are to look at this area as the rest of Africa, okay? Everything closed back up and was touching, okay? Africa would fit perfectly in this space right here. The point I'm making is that this space right here, this blue, wouldn't be water, it would be land. Now back to Florida and its importance, as well as Georgia, okay? The two places extending 1 mile into Georgia is where you can only find gopher wood. You guys, if you went from Florida into a mile into Georgia, and let's say that was wood, what if a river went from Florida into Georgia? Okay, making this the Red Sea, right? Now, another thing that got me is you got the covenant, okay, being found. Another thing, speaking about history, being found in Arizona, another cool place by Nevada. And I told you what I think Nevada is and what Nevada's holding. And then you have old maps really telling you the truth of what things are called, okay? Florida, another name for Florida, Americana. Another name for that, well, Egyptian goddesses. California. You got ancient artifacts being found in the United States, and you got pyramids, you got rivers. You guys, there are no such things as lake, okay? Majority of the lakes in America are man-made. So if you can create lakes, which means you can change geographical mapping some things where a piece of land is now not a piece of land because it's been interrupted by a man-made lake, you can separate that into 1, 2, 3, 5 different states if you wanted to. But if we're saying Noah's Ark, which had the 10 Commandments in it, think about the 10 Commandments more as like a hex, okay? Spiritual relics, spiritual words in order to keep spiritual warfare going. So why do they find black blood as well? Now, what I find cool is arcs and how often we use that word, okay? We said Moses had an ark and Noah had an ark. Well, if arcs are really just covenants, collections of information that we had to pass down from centuries on and on, during world resets, Noah's Ark is a story about resetting the world with water. Moses has commandments that he gave to people. And keep in mind, the 10 commandments that we had, they ratified the amendments, okay? But when this country is the land of Church of England, all the president are descendants, and you're keeping blood hexes on land that people can't go and dig through because this is actual true promised land, it matters. If black people were true kings and gods and goddesses, and this is the true land, is it not the promised land that the people, the chosen ones, were kept down in? And it's weird because they do weird things to us, okay, where they want you to study historical things from like Egypt, okay? They do other things where they put weird voodoos on things like this, okay? They paint people in different cultures and different religions where you would go to access information, their math and stuff. They don't want cultures and people to talk because when you start talking about information, question for you. Have you ever noticed when a black woman goes over to China or Asia or any freaking country, if they treat her like a god, they are stunned, okay? They want to take pictures with her. Indian women bow. People stop. People. If Moses, and keep in mind, they do tell you Moses was messing with the Red Sea as well, right? So if Moses was over here in Florida messing with the Red Sea and Noah was over here in Florida messing with the Red Sea, but it has to be Florida and the Red Sea together because gopher wood. How could you build Noah's Ark over there if there was no gopher wood?
A minor theft might have turned into a major religious discovery. A missing artifact was found in the closet of a Tennessee motorhome. Volunteer TV's John Trainer talked with the owner of a rare painting who didn't know what he had. John?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what you might have in your house. In this case, it was an authentic 19th century painting of the Veil of Veronica. It's like a story ripped from a Hollywood screenplay. A small road in the mountains of Tennessee, a living room in a motorhome, and a 150-year-old painting blessed by Pope Leo XIII. This is the true face of Jesus Christ, one of a handful of paintings based on the cloth used to wipe Jesus' face before his crucifixion, known as the Veil of Veronica. Say it was stolen by Kelly Gormley, who tried to sell it to this Madisonville church. The church told the sheriffs made the arrest, and a piece of religious history was uncovered.
You know, at first, obviously, it was a big surprise for us that something like this might even, you know, be in East Tennessee. Normally, you'd expect to find something like this in a museum or maybe in Rome, in the Vatican.
The painting is now under lock and key in a secret location.
Know your land.
Kingdoms, later misnamed colonies and states. Brutium, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Idumea, which are known, Brutium was actually or also known as Pergamos, which if you read the so-called Christian Bible in Revelations, they talk about Pergamos, which is Brutium, Massachusetts. Another name for it was Comasacumcanit, which Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, also known as Fezhuetas or Old Fez, which is actually New York. Bethlehem, as I mentioned, is actually Pittsburgh, and Idumea, or Edom, is Virginia. Now, Marrakesh at that time was Philadelphus or Philadelphia, which was both, this was a part of Mauritania or Mauritania, and Mauritania was actually in North and South Dakota, here in North America. And of course, Marrakesh, as I said, was Philadelphia, and Marrakesh, which later became known as Morocco, means sons of Cush. Barca, which, by the way, Barca is another name or an ancient name for Chicago. And after Barca, it became known as Libya or Ludim. And the people, the Moorish people, were known as Lahabim at that time. The Guayni Cuna, known as Panama, Maco Tucano Huitoto, known as Colombia, Yonamam, Arawak Carib, Venezuela, Utuapaque Pima, Mexico, Maya, Guatemala, Araucanian, Chile, Diaguita, Bolivia, and Apibon, Paraguay.